Give me a second to do some things real quick here. So, today we're going to talk about China. So, I have an interesting perspective on China because my mom's cousin was a Christian missionary to China, and she said that all visitors are assigned what are called minders that walk with you everywhere you go, and everything you say is recorded by the minder, and then the minder sends whatever you said to the government. If the government doesn't like one word in what you said, the troops will show up during the night. They will pick you up and you'll never be seen again. So she said we had to watch every single word we said. And I find that interesting because here in the US, we don't have such goings on. We have freedom of speech. We don't have to worry about our neighbor reporting us to the government or, some such thing, or the government assigning each visitor a quote minder. We just don't do that kind of stuff here. So, and the whole stuff about China invading Taiwan, that's all on Xi Jinping. That's his thing. He wants to reunify China with Taiwan. And from what I'm seeing and reading, Xi Jinping may not be the leader of China after October. Okay, last year, Xi Jinping named, I think it was 60, between 60 and 100 new generals. This year, every one of those generals has been purged. They're all either missing or some such thing like that. One committed an apparent suicide by swimming in a swimming pool. How do you commit suicide going for a swim? And the a a good source of information is a YouTube channel called uh, Lay's Real Talk, LEI apostrophe S, and she has some really good information on how they're systematically replacing generals that are um, loyal to Xi are being replaced. And um, I always screw up these names. Zhang Yuja is like head of the army, and there's another guy, Yang Wang. Them are the two that may be the leader after the next plenum, which is only a month away. It's, I think, the 6th of October. So this is very interesting stuff going on here, and that when you think about it's Xi that wants to be reunite Taiwan and China, if Xi is not the leader after October, then what is up with that? You know what I mean? You know, who what will the next leader's stance be on reunifying Taiwan and China? This stuff is just all very interesting, and like I said at the beginning, my mom's cousin was a Christian missionary to China, and she said their world is so much different than ours. Hey, Michelle, she said, there, every citizen is required to report to the government anything that goes on. And they are paid according to what they report. She said that every visitor is assigned what is called a government minder. And there are assigned minders and there are secret minders. Imagine living in a society where you have to watch what you say or you will disappear. About Harley famous in? No. Um, the the thing is, if you go to visit there and they say this is your minder, the minder writes down records everything you say and reports that to the government. Reports everything you say to the government. And they have this thing called a social credit score where you're assigned a credit score based on how well you comply with what the government wants. They control what kind of car you buy, what size apartment you have, all of that kind of stuff that we here in the US take advantage of. Hey, I'm going to go and rent this place or rent that place or buy this place or buy that place. Not so in China. In China, the government assigns you. Spice King, I'm bald. The government assigns you what size apartment you have, what size car you can drive, you know. Um, this is all foreign stuff to us here in the US because here we save our money and then we go buy us a car or we rent this particular house or apartment, etc. China's government is the best, if you ask me. Well, that's interesting. Why do you think China's government is the best? Because they have 100% control over their citizens? Because that's what it's about. It's about controlling your citizen, about controlling what they're allowed to say, when they're allowed to say it, what they're allowed to do, when they're allowed to do it. And remember, this whole COVID stuff started over in China. there was a scientist who saw what was going on in the lab, who wrote someone here and let them know what was going on. The Chinese government showed up at his apartment, welded his doors shut, sprayed something under the, the door, and then came back 5 days later and said, oh, he must have died of COVID. You think that's the best? You really think that's the best? So that's what I got for you today. Um, Tomorrow we'll be talking about some updates of what's going on in Britain, and we'll go down that rabbit hole. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.